All right. It's 8 p.m. Central and time for the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, heard Wednesday nights right here on this repeater. My name is Matthew, call sign KN4LRA, and I'll be your net control for this evening. This is a controlled net, meaning stations should refrain from transmitting until designated check-in or comment time. You can hear us on the University Link repeater system and the N50AK repeater system. You can also check in through Echolink on the node KA5D-R. There are other ways of checking in to the repeater system, and you can find more details at the website ka5d.com/repeaters and n50ak.org/repeaters. Please give a couple of seconds between transmissions to allow all the system links to communicate with each other. Before we begin, is there any emergency or priority traffic on the frequency? If so, please call now. Nothing heard. We won't have any scheduled breaks to check for emergency traffic during the net this evening, but will gladly yield the air if any station calls in with emergency or priority traffic. Is our backup net control operator, David, KV5UBB, on the air with us tonight? Nothing heard. Well, I know he gets out of the class just before this, so we'll give him a few minutes and hopefully he can jump in a little bit later on in the net. Let's rock and roll. The UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net is a social net with the purpose of bringing local operators together to share knowledge, discuss club activities, and keep in touch. All hands are invited, both new and experienced, and no club membership is required. If you're new to the net, the way this works is very simple. We'll start in just a bit. We'll invite everyone listening to check into the net. We'll start with general check-in, or with short time check-ins for stations who just have a few minutes with us, and then move on to general check-ins and comment time. But before we do that, let's start off with some announcements from the club. Our next club meeting is going to be this Thursday evening, that's tomorrow evening, at 6 p.m. in the Mechanical Engineering Building. If you're interested in joining us for the meeting, send us a message on Slack or visit n5xu.org where you can read more about the club and sign up for our email list. You're listening to the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, hosted by the University of Texas Amateur Radio Club every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. right here on the University Link repeater system and the N50AK repeater system. My name is Matthew, call sign KN4LRA, and I am your net control for the evening. Let's move on to net check-ins. During check-in, please key your mic, say "this is," unkey, and wait a moment to hear if anyone else started speaking at the same time. If it's clear, key in again and slowly and clearly state your call sign and first name. We encourage you to use standard ITU phonetics if you know them. This gives everyone the opportunity to learn the phonetics and makes it easier for me to write down check-ins. We'll start off with short time check-ins. If you're out there and know that you've just got a few minutes, but still want to say that you've checked into the net, this is your opportunity. To keep things brief, we will not take general comments from short time stations. Short time stations, please call now.
This is Kilo India 5, Whiskey Sierra Uniform, Ed in Caldwell County. No traffic.
All right, we've got KI5WSU, that's Ed. Thank you so much for checking in. We've got you down short time. Any other short time check-ins, please call now.
India 5, Tango Mike Sierra, Travis.
All right, we've got Kilo India 5, Tango Mike Sierra, that's Travis. Thank you as well for checking into the net this evening. Any other short time stations, please call now. Nothing heard. Well, thank you to both Ed and Travis for checking in short time. Let's go ahead and move right on to general check-in. After we've got a few people checked in, we'll give the floor to each of you and then to any station who wishes to respond. Don't worry if we don't get to you in the first round of check-ins. Stick around. There will be plenty of opportunities to check in throughout the evening. Again, as a friendly reminder, no club membership is required, and any licensed operators are welcome and encouraged to participate. General check-in stations, please call now.
This is Whiskey Zulu 5, Bravo Sierra, Rusty, Northwest Austin.
This Kilo India 5, Papa Zulu November, Ernesto in East Austin.
All right, we got Rusty and Ernesto. That's WZ5BBS and KI5PZN. Gentlemen, welcome back to the net, and great to have you here. Any other general check-ins, please call now.
This is Kilo Lima 4, Lima Juliet, Hudson in Aggieland.
Hey, Hudson, welcome back to the net. That's KL4LJ. We've got you on the list here. Man, I was wondering if y'all were going to make an appearance again tonight. I don't think we heard you on here last week, but great to have you here. Any other general check-ins, please call now. Nothing heard. Well, I guess it's going to be a slow night tonight. That's all right. We can go ahead and start off by checking in with Rusty. That's WZ5BBS. Rusty, great to have you here tonight. How's your week going, man?
Hey Matthew, everybody on the net. It's been good. It's been busy, and man, I had the house open today. The weather was beautiful. So yeah, I'm just hanging out. Just got done with shoveling some dinner in my throat, and still in there apparently. So yeah, just hanging out and looking forward to the weekend. I'm hosting a fox hunt that starts on Saturday, if anybody is interested. So putting that all together and getting all that stuff going. So yeah, man, I guess I've been doing some Slacker chat a little earlier, but not a whole lot of radio. Still haven't put the HF antenna up because man, even today I had some crap falling out of the tree still. So once all that stops, we'll put the HF antenna back up.
Yikes, man. Well, I was out that way at my roommate's house, let's say, I guess it was this past weekend, and it definitely was a big improvement as opposed to 2 weeks ago. So, but still lots of stuff everywhere, so hopefully in a couple of weeks here, everything will kind of get itself sorted out and you can get that antenna back up. Funny you mentioned the fox hunt thing there. I'm sure if you think way back when, I kept saying that I wanted to come out and join you all for a fox hunt, and man, I really still need to do that. It's not going to be this weekend. Unfortunately, the school stuff is just piling on top of more school stuff, and I think this is going to be a weekend where I've got to really hunker down and do schoolwork. I'm already giving up a sailing event to make sure I get the homework done, so that's going to take priority. But one of these weekends, man, I'll come out and I'll join you all for a fox hunt. I'm definitely looking forward to it because I think it sounds like a lot of fun.
And you're welcome to come hang out with us anytime you want. We typically go do Old Man Breakfast up at Waterloo, 183 in Burnett. But you don't have to come do breakfast, but we can totally meet there. And then, yeah, usually, knock on wood, Ernesto and I are getting pretty good. It only takes us a couple hours usually to find it, so, you know, you don't have to burn the whole weekend. But, yeah, man, we would love to have you. And I was going to ask you what your sailing schedule was and if that had started back up.
Well, there's the answer for you. We actually had 2 regattas. It was the first and the second weekend of this month, and then another one this weekend, one next weekend, which is an away regatta. So I'm potentially going to be headed down to New Orleans next weekend for a regatta. We get a little bit of a break, but then really the fun stuff all starts in April. That's when the championship and all those, you know, big deal kind of events are starting up. So it's still a little ways away, but we're now that it's warming up, we're able to get back out there and have some more fun.
Man, they should have done the one in New Orleans last weekend. You gotta have a little Mardi Gras fun and, you know, go do some drinking. So, do you fly, do they fly y'all out to these things? And, you know, or do you show up and the boats are there? Or do you have, what all stuff do you take onto these races?
My friend, I really wish our budget was big enough for us to be able to fly everywhere we go, but unfortunately that is just not the case. So for all of the local regattas, and I put local in quotes because New Orleans is definitely not local, but all of the regattas in our conference, we're going to be driving there. So New Orleans and Kansas are the 2 farthest locations that are both about a 10-hour drive away. But we will pile in university rental cars and head all the way down there over the weekend. It's about a 10-hour drive each way, which is, man, it's a lot of travel, but we do it for good reasons. But in terms of gear, the college sailing does a great job of sort of setting things up so that you don't have to travel with too much gear. Pretty much just your personal gear, your life jacket, your hat, sunglasses, water bottle. But the life jacket and the cold weather gear are always the biggest bear to carry along. When we travel to another school, for example, to New Orleans, there Tulane has their whole fleet of boats. So everyone comes in, they don't have to bring their own boats. It's all provided by the host school, which is really nice. 1, because we don't have to drag a trailer all that way, and 2, because it means that all the boats end up being the same thing. I remember thinking back to high school. In high school sailing, it was the opposite way. Every team brought their own boat, and man, we were traveling, 2 or 3 weekends out of the month, and every weekend we'd be loading the boats on a trailer, driving them across the state in Florida, loading them up, rigging them up, sailing them, putting them back on the trailer. And, there was those kids that just had the fast boats, and there was nothing you could do about it. So I think this is a pretty good way that things work out, and definitely works, and it's super convenient for us as college students as well.
Yeah, that's totally legitimate, especially because, everybody's moving around. Well, cool. So everybody gets the same boat, and, I'm sure they give the ones with the dents and stuff to the people from out of town. There's a little bit of that going on. But, well, very cool, man. Well, good luck with all that. How many of y'all get crammed into a car? How many are y'all?
Well, it depends on where we're going. If we're going somewhere that's more local, let's just say Galveston, for instance, there the team might bring 13 or 14 people, and obviously not all crammed in one car, but they'll split them across 2 or 3 cars. When we're going to New Orleans, I think it usually ends up being somewhere around 8 maybe people. So at that point, if we get lucky and it's 7, they'll cram all 7 of us into a rental van, like a minivan. But if it ends up being more than 7 people, it'll be a minivan and a car. So we get packed in pretty tight, given you think about a minivan with 7 people plus duffel bags full of gear kind of ends up on your lap. But, not my fancy in terms of the way to travel, but hey, it's cheap and it gets the job done.
Right on, man. Well, hey, thanks for sharing, and hope you have a good week. That's about all I got, man. It's always fun to talk about sailing because I had no idea I would be the fat man in the water when it comes to that. So, have a good week, man. Thanks for running the net, WZ5BVS.
Rusty, thank you so much for being here. It's always great to talk to you as well. And man, anytime that you're on the Slacker chat and want to chew the rag talking about sailing, I'd be happy to hop on because I can talk about it for hours. That's for sure. Well, all right, we'll go ahead and open it up to any questions or comments for Rusty. Please call now.
I5PZN.
Hey, Ernesto, go right ahead.
Hey, Rusty. So, is it your Fox that you're hiding? I guess back to you.
It is indeed my Fox.
Right on. Are you doing any type of modification, attenuator, or anything? Or are you just gonna put it, with all the juice? Just curious, because I know you have like a very potent Fox compared to mine and the other guy.
I'm giving it all the juice, man. It's gonna be sitting out there and yelling. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. Looking forward to everybody finding it.
Well, awesome, man. Thank you for hosting the Fox this weekend. And yeah, I guess you're not going to be hunting after all. All right, I guess I'll keep an eye on Discord to see what's up. Thank you for again for hosting. Back to net. This is Cat5PZN.
Yeah, you bet, man. And we might have some more. You never know. But FYI, your audio is kind of low as well. I don't know. I'm on the 320, so it might be the fun all-star thing, or it might be you. I don't know. But either way, your audio, I can hear you, but your audio level's a little low. WZ5BVS, back to net.
All right, thank you, Ernesto, for that comment. Any other questions or comments for Rusty, please call now.
Kilo 9, Lima Zulu Yankee, Rob the Lazy Dog here. Rusty, real quick, why don't you try some boats on the air, get the sailing team to take you out and make a few contacts. Back to net.
Well, it might be kind of even more fun to do is to give Matthew my Fox and just have him strapped out on the boat and drive all the fellas crazy when they can't figure out where the hell it is. So that we might strap a Fox to Matthew, see how that works.
Foxing Boda, I love it. Back to net.
Rob, welcome to the net this evening, and thank you so much for that. All right, I think I am way overdue for a station ID, so we'll go ahead and do that and then jump back into comments. You're listening to the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, hosted by the University of Texas Amateur Radio Club every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. here on the University Link repeater system and the N5 OAK repeater system. My name is Matthew, call sign KN4LRA. And I am your net control for the evening. Let's jump right back into it with a conversation with Rusty. And I'm interested in talking really quick to Rob, that's K9LZY. I pulled up your QRZ page, and I see a picture of a sailboat on here. So are you a sailor as well?
Yeah, long-time sailor. I actually sailed for San Jose State University. We had a Discord chat about that, but things have changed very much from the drunken debauchery of the early 90s and sailing collegiate to now, from what I understand. But yeah, I am a sailor. Back to net.
You see, it was just that little comment about our Discord chat from me, that all to come right back to me. So I do remember that conversation and everything about us talking about how different it is now. But man, you know, you got a really good idea there about putting a fox on a boat. We might not even have to drive it around, just anchor it right in the middle of the lake, and I bet people would be confused driving around the lake for hours. It would be good fun, that's for sure.
Make it a contest, put a little cash on the fox there for those who find it first, and see who gets their paddleboard out and tries to actually make it there back to net.
Right, we got lots of islands out there at Lake Travis. That might be a whole lot of fun.
Yes, indeed. Well, definitely something for us to keep in the back pocket for a while. And Rusty, if y'all ever want to make that happen, man, I know the people with the boat, so we can definitely make it happen. Feel free to shoot me a message on Discord, but we got to give it a little time because now everyone out there is listening and knows what we're on to. So we'll make it a surprise, pop it up here in a couple of months, and man, they won't know what hit them. All right, any other questions or comments for the Rusty chat? If so, please call now.
N5LX.
Hey, Sky, go ahead.
Hey, yeah, I just turned my radio on and heard everybody, so I didn't check in yet, but I was glad I did, because it sounds like Rusty's going to have host a fox hunt this weekend.
Yes, sir. All the details are in the Discord, but yeah, I'm not running mine on Friday. I'm just gonna start it on Saturday morning, 9 a.m. till Sunday at 7:15. That way we can give all the details out on the Wind Down Net.
All right, that sounds great.
Bring your Doppler, because I'll be interested to see what it does.
Yeah, I need to figure out a different arrangement, because the way I'm using that little tripod, there's no place for a passenger to sit. I guess they could sit in the back seat.
Yeah, you know, I always wondered, Ernesto has like the little antenna mohawk on the top, and his back antenna is bigger than the front antenna, and so we were kind of wondering if that was acting as a reflector, and you know, that way it was making it more directional, but it turns out that's not the case, so luckily for us. But yeah, man, come find the fox. It's gonna be a fun one.
Cool, thanks, Rusty. Back to net, this is N5LX.
Awesome. Thank you for chiming in there, Sky, and we'll get you on the log as checked into the net tonight as well. Any other questions or comments for Rusty, please call now. Nothing heard. Let's move right along down the list to Ernesto. That's KF5PZN. Ernesto, great to have you here tonight. And yeah, how's your week going?
This is KI5PZN. Hey Matthew, thanks for running the net and everybody on the net. Week's going okay so far. Tons of work, but still being able to do a little bit radio here and there. I just finished getting this 135 feet of wire all rigged up to put up, hopefully by tomorrow. It will be, because it's too late by now. Because I need to replace the wire on my end fit. I had a 60-something feet wire currently, and it's not tuning for 80 meters, and I need to get on 80 meters. So that's the project in hand, and hopefully I'll be able to find a place in this small lot to push 135 feet of wire. Let me let it reset. That was I guess a nice project for after work, just to get my mind off what I do for a living. Let's see. Excited now for the weekend because we're gonna have the Rusty Fox, and I haven't hunted that thing in a while. This one is an interesting one because it puts way more power than the one that we're used to hunt for. I guess last time I hunt for that one was when he was doing the pub crawl, where we met in different dive bars, and we'll move to different dive bars and we'll just hunt it again and again, and it was fun. But I'm very curious to see how it's going to work for a traditional fox hunt again, because it's a very loud fox. But we'll see. I guess attenuators and off frequency will be used. Back to net control. This is KI5PZN.
Well, Ernesto, thank you so much for checking in. All right, does anyone have any questions or comments for Ernesto? If so, please call now.
And 5LX.
Hey, Sky, go ahead.
Yeah, Ernesto, are you putting up an end-fed half wave? Did you say it was 135 feet?
Yes, sir. The one I have, it's 60-something. I think it's 63 feet, and I can't get this to tune to 80 meters. And I can use an external tuner, but I want something with nicer signal. So, yeah, 135 feet. I'm gonna replace the wire tomorrow. I said it's too late now because I need to find a way of hanging that cable around this property. It's not a big lot, so we'll see how it goes. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, keep us posted. Let us know how it works out. I have an end-fed transformer. I never put it together, but I have that option. I'm just really curious how that works. So let us know how it works when you get it up.
Man, I'll keep you guys posted. That antenna works really well for 40, 20, 15, 17, and 10 meters. I've talked to people all over the place with that antenna, but the issue that I'm having, again, is the 80 meters that I don't get to tune, and I want to be able to participate on the CW net on Thursday at 7:30, and then just, talking on 80 meters, because I was listening to the trivia, I think it was yesterday on 3916. It starts at 9. And man, there was a bunch of stuff that I knew the answer, and I was just going insane because I could not transmit. So, trivia and CW, here I come. I connect.
Awesome. Does anyone else have any other questions or comments for Ernesto? If so, please call now.
BBS.
Hey, Rusty, go ahead.
Well, Ernesto, I'm proud, man. You turned into a proper old man going over to the 80-meter trivia and the CW. Hey, dude, if you need help putting that stuff up, let me know when you're going to be doing it. I can sneak by and help. I've also got a ladder if you need.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, old man, CW and 80 meters, but whatever. Thank you. I have, it's funny, because these trees are not that high, I have 2 bamboo rods taped each other, and I don't know how long those things are. And then I cut a tiny little piece of, I guess like a wire from a little branch, and also taped it on the top of that bamboo rod. So far it's been working out okay, but if I need you, I will let you know, man. Thanks for the offer. This is KI5PZN, back to net.
Yeah, man, ping me. I'll be happy. Sounds like you got Gilligan's Island putting your stuff together, but hey, whatever works. I also have some glow in the dark fishing rods for like fishing wires, not for like catching fish. Although I guess they might do both. But yeah, so let me know if you need a hand, man. I'll be around the house. WZ5BBS, back to you, Matthew.
Awesome. Well, hey, are there any other questions or comments for Ernesto? If so, please call now.
K5
Nothing
RBI.
heard.
I have a
Let's move
comment
right on down
for
the list to
Rusty or
Hudson,
for the whole group.
KL4LJ.
I had a
Hudson,
QSO
how are
with
things going down there in Aggie land?
gentleman from Canada many months ago, I should say, and he was sailing the Sea of Cortez between Baja and Mexico, rather. Baja California and Mexico, and he was sailing up and down the Baja coast, going from port to port with his wife and talking ham radio all the way back and forth. It was pretty cool. I just thought that that BOTA thing was a good idea. And also I wanted to check to see if WB5TXW George is around. Over.
Hey, man, well, I have to apologize. I think we doubled for about the first 15 seconds of your comment there. I have not had George check in yet, but maybe he's out there lurking, so let's give him a chance to jump in here if he's out there. Well, I don't hear him, but maybe he'll hop in here later on in the evening. I didn't catch your call sign or your name, given that we were doubling earlier, but would love to get that and get you on the list here for the net tonight.
QSL, my name is Richard. I'm located on Baffin Bay, about 50 miles south of Corpus Christi. I'm a 1981 University of Texas graduate, graduated from the College of Pharmacy. And George told me about this net, so I just discovered Echolink today, so I made a few contacts on it earlier, and he told me about this net, so I thought I would come in and say hello to everyone and share my story about the boat that was sailing up and down the Baja coast and going from port to port with his wife. And the gentleman was from Canada, and he would take his sailboat all over the place, and the fact that he had a ham radio on his boat, I thought was very cool. And I got to make that QSO, and it was just a great time on the radio that day. K5 RBI.
WB5TXW.
Well, look at that. There he is. George, go ahead.
Yeah, excuse me, I know I'm not on the list if you have a list. Richard, I hear you. FYI, this is a TMV, 1 Alpha. I usually listen to the repeater all day long. Sometimes if I don't turn it off at the end of the day, nighttime too. So, you know where to reach me, Ricky Tech, if you want to talk about UT Sports or something like that. By the way, good audio, good signal strength, and 7-3 all around. This is WB5TXW back to net control.
George, great to hear you on the net this evening, and we'll put you on the list here as checked in, just to get that checked off your list for the evening. Great to have you here. Let's take a quick break because I am once again overdue for my station ID. You're listening to the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, hosted by the University of Texas Amateur Radio Club, every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. here on the University Link repeater system and the N5 OAK repeater system. My name is Matthew, call sign KN4LRA, and I am your net control for the evening. Let's send it back really quick to Richard, that's K5RBI, and see if he has any final comments before we move on tonight.
USL, just want to let George know that he's also coming through very, very well, and I will check in to this repeater occasionally and see if I can catch up with you there, George. Anyway, good hearing everybody. It's great to see that there's a net devoted to University of Texas graduates. That's always a good thing. And I wish everybody 73s, and I'm really glad I discovered Echolink today. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So 73s, everyone. Kilo 5 runs batted in.
Well, Richard, thank you so much for joining us. It's always super cool when we have someone who's an alumni jump in through Echolink. It seems like you're the one this week, so thank you so much for being here, and we hope to hear you again on the net in the future. And George, thank you for jumping in here as well. So moving right down along my list, the next gentleman is Hudson. That's KL4LJ. Hudson, how are things going down there in Aggie Land?
This is KL4LJ. Things are going pretty well. We had school club roundup last week, and that was a ton of fun and super busy and all kinds of crazy. So this week has pretty much just been recovering from that and catching up on all the school work. And I ended up having like 3 exams this week, so that's been filling up my time. But yeah, other than that, everything's going well here. Back to net control.
Man, you know, it's funny you say that about the exams because I've had the exact same thing happening over here on my end. I'm sure you know that the schoolwork kind of goes in cycles, and I guess it seems like our cycles are kind of lined up here. I had 2 projects and an exam this week, so I can definitely relate to you a little bit there in terms of the schoolwork. This is the first time I've hopped on the radio this week, so enjoying a little bit of a break here, and so glad to get to talk to anyone. All right, let's open it up for questions or comments for Hudson. If you got any questions or comments, please call now.
BBS.
Rusty, go ahead.
Hey Hudson, just wanted to invite the A&M guys. We do a trivia net on Friday nights at 9 p.m. and you can get in with the 51444 All-Star node, which is how y'all get in, I think. But yeah, come join us on Friday at 9 p.m. if you're looking for something to do. It goes from about 9 to 11, and there's usually, you know, between 30 and 50 people hanging out. So if y'all got nothing going on Friday night, which, you know, you're college kids, so I doubt that, but Friday at 9, man, come play trivia with us.
This is KL4LJ. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm studying engineering, so I don't have a life. So I probably am actually available on Friday nights. So we'll have to see about linking the repeaters up and checking into those trivia nets. Sounds like a lot of fun. At some point, I haven't gotten around to it, but at some point we ought to set up our repeater so that we automatically link for, at the very least, this net and possibly y'all's trivia net as well. Anyway, that's all from me. KL4LJ, back to net control.
Yeah, man, we'd love to have you. It's a bunch of nerds and a bunch of dorks and a bunch of fun. We usually watch a movie in the video chat while we're doing that as well. So come hang out with us. You can go find all the details over at n5oak.org. But yeah, man, we'd love for the A&M crew to come play. WZ5BBS, and thanks, Matthew.
Oh man, that would be super cool to have you all join in for that as well. Hudson, I've had on my list. I put it on my calendar to come in and jump in for one of y'all's Monday night nets, but unfortunately that time happens to conflict with my little one of my classes here, so I don't get on too much. But man, at some point here I'll dip out of class and decide to jump in and join on through the All-Star here. I managed to connect to y'all's system not too long ago. I don't know if you remember the number, but I was able to get to node 49382 through the system that I've got here, Transceive on the laptop. So I was thinking about jumping on there. Hopefully I'll get to do that eventually. But man, it would be super cool to see y'all get set up to automatically link for the Wednesday night and the Friday night nets as well.
Definitely. Oops, there was something in my brain and I lost it. The node number you listed off is the correct node number, so that should work just fine. All right, 7-3. KL4LJ, back to net control.
Awesome. Well, Hudson, thank you so much for being here. It's super cool to have you all linked up and joining in on the Wednesday nights. We really appreciate it. Are there any other questions or comments for Hudson? If so, please call him out. Nothing heard? All right, another quick station ID. You are listening to the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, hosted by the University of Texas Amateur Radio Club every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. here on the University Link Repeater System and the N5 OAK Repeater System. My name is Matthew, call sign KN4LRA, and I'm your net control for this evening. All right, let's move right down on the list to the next gentleman on here. That's K9LZY Rob. Rob, I know we heard from you a little bit earlier, but do you have anything else to share with the net? All right, nothing heard. Well, maybe Rob's turned his radio off here, but let's give him one more chance to jump in. K9LZY. Rob, are you still out there?
K9LZY, yeah, I was just playing with my radio trying to figure out some more of these groups, and so yeah, I'm here. Productive first half of the week for me, and so looking forward to getting another tripod stood up tomorrow and stick up the 6 meter on that tripod and have it mobile, move it out to the front yard as I was saying before. Other than that, everything's pretty much going well. Got a new little tiny pause for reset. Got a new little shack table in the room here to get a little more organized, and I'll share the camera here on trivia night, and y'all see how I'm becoming a little more YXL friendly. Back to net.
Awesome. Well, Rob, I'm glad I finally had the opportunity here to connect your name and your call sign with the conversation that we had on Discord about sailing. Super cool to have you here, and thank you so much for checking in tonight. Does anyone have any questions or comments for Rob? If so, please call now.
FIPZN.
Ernesto, go ahead.
Hey Rob, were you able to hear me on Monday on 6 meter?
LZY, yeah, 100% was able to hear you. You were buried a little bit, but playing with the filters on my 7300, I was able to kind of bring that up and heard you. Probably gave you, a 4-4. And so it was a little weak, and that's why I'll try on next Monday to get it out in the front yard to see if I can get a little more clear line of sight Back to net.
Awesome, man. Looking forward to that. We need to get Rusty also 6 meters. All right, back to net.
Wow, no comments about dragging me into 6 meters as well. I'm disappointed. No, all fun and games. Thank you so much, Ernesto, for jumping in there. Does anyone have any other questions or comments for Rob? If so, please call him out. Nothing heard. All right, let's keep moving right down on the list. Next gentleman here is Sky N5LX. Sky, I know we heard from you earlier as well, but wanted to give you one more chance to jump in just in case you had anything else fun to share with the net. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. This is N5LX, and sure, I'll share some stuff. I just got my replacement vacuum variable capacitor in the mail to replace the one that's broken for my magnetic loop antenna, and I only had a chance to test that antenna like 2 or 3 times last week, so I was kind of bummed. Well, it was 2 weeks ago, but I was kind of bummed because I was just starting to get an idea of how it was performing. So I'm looking forward to getting that thing put back together. And just to give you an idea of how my brain works, if it performs well, I'm already scheming to build another one, but instead of 7/8 heliax for the loop diameter, I'm going to use a scrap piece of 1 5/8 heliax. And the calculator I was using shows that it would increase the transmit efficiency by about 25-26%. So it will be interesting to see how that experiment goes. Reset. Anyway, that's what I'm looking forward to, and also stoked about hearing that we're going to have another fox hunt this weekend. I was thinking of hosting one, but maybe I'll do one next weekend and sign up a little bit earlier for it. The other thing, it just kind of popped in my head, with all the publicity surrounding these balloons, the hysteria and the jokes and everything, I kind of perused some of those hobby balloon sites, and it actually looks really interesting. There's something kind of romantic or maybe nostalgic, like when you were a little kid, and you had a balloon. But I mean, just the whole idea that you can, for relatively cheap, you can send a Mylar balloon up to like 40,000 plus feet and have it circumnavigate the globe and then keep track of it with, APRS or some other means. That's actually pretty fascinating and pretty fantastic to me. So maybe our club should put something together. I think that would be cool. I was just reading on here that the payload for those things, the kits that you can buy, it's like less than 20 grams, which is just mind-blowing. Anyway, that sounded cool to me, and thanks for hosting the net. This is N5LX.
Sky, well, thank you for jumping in tonight. Great to have you here as well. Thinking about that balloon idea that you've got there, it would be kind of interesting if the payload would support it, to put a really, really bare bones repeater setup, maybe something with like 2 super cheap HTs in a crossband setup up on a balloon, and send it off on its way and see what kind of range you're able to get as it traverses across the country. That would be kind of an interesting little project there. From my, history back living in Florida, always thought about taking a drone, an autonomous drone, and attaching a simple repeater setup to the drone in a lot of the cases when hurricanes and that type of thing come through. A lot of times, all of the cell service gets knocked out. For instance, even in the most recent hurricane that came into the west central Florida area, it knocked out cell service for a week. So I was always thinking about, man, maybe we can put a repeater on a drone, and that way we can get communications back into these areas super quickly. But putting it on a balloon would be an interesting idea as well, especially if it ends up traversing across the country and is able to get up way higher. That would be an interesting project. So, man, if something's able to happen with the club and a balloon, that would be definitely something I'd love to see happen as well.
I like your line of thinking. Very creative. One of the things that I read, I've seen conflicting information, but I read that the maximum allowable payload before you have to register it with the FAA is something around 4 or 6 pounds. I have a feeling it's probably a lower number or somewhere around there. The other thing that comes to mind is I'm not sure how precisely you can control the altitude of the balloon, and certainly you can't control the wind, so no telling where it would end up. I guess you'd have to research that. And I think that's part of the fun of it, though, is, you can, with the radio technology we have now, you can track those things. There are some blind spots depending on what countries you're going over. But, I think, the UT Club, maybe the Oak Hill Club, I think it might be a fun project for us to work on.
Man, I am definitely all ears for putting something together like that. I think it's a great suggestion, man. I'd be really interested to see us pulling that off, maybe as a collaboration between the two clubs, and hopefully some of the other UTARC club officers are on here as well, listening in and having the same thoughts that I am. But let's go ahead and open it up to any questions or comments for Sky. If so, please call now.
BBS. BBS.
All right, I heard both Rusty and Young there, but let's let Rusty go first.
Hey Sky, go check out the Oak Hill Facebook page. I just posted some stuff for you. Whiskey 5 Kilo Uniform Bravo. Whiskey 5 Kilo Uniform Bravo. They are known for putting balloons up in the air, and I just shared it. Said just to keep everybody updated. Here's the flight path, the W5KUB-1112 for the past 252 days. It has gone around the world approximately 13 times at an altitude of 50,000 feet. And, man, there's red lines and stuff all over the place. So go check out the Oak Hill Facebook page, and that will show you or lead you to the W5KUB Amateur Radio Club. But, man, they do a lot of cool stuff with balloons, and I think that would be an absolute fun idea to do that between us and the UT Club. We just got to get like a target or something on there. That way they can shoot them down with the missile, and we can be famous.
Yeah, N5LX for ID. I'm looking at the map right now, and I've actually followed some of their balloons before, but I wasn't aware of this one. I didn't know that it had circumnavigated so many times. I'm looking at the map. It's just really amazing. But yeah, let's go for it. Let's move on it.
Well, those guys seem to have perfected it. They've put up a lot of balloons, and a lot of their balloons have done exactly that, man. They've been hanging out, going around the globe for a long time. So unless, other governments get antsy about blowing stuff out of the sky, we might want to let it cool down for a little bit, but I'm totally on board, man. It looks like a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, the cursory reading I've done on it, a lot of these balloons hover in the upper 30s or lower 40,000 feet level. There's no commercial air traffic up there. There's military sometimes. But, we'll have to do some research and see what's legal and what's safe and everything. I just think it would be a really good learning opportunity and a lot of fun.
Totally, man. If we could fill up that balloon with hot air, our club would get it up to 70,000, 80,000 feet. But I don't know what they're putting in there. That's probably going to be our only real cost is whatever gas they throw in there. But other than that, man, yeah, let's chat about it. Least we can do is get a game plan. WZ5BBS.
N5LX, back to net.
Thanks, y'all. Well, I also heard Young jump in there at the beginning and y'all, I think y'all doubled real quick. But let's send it over to Young, that's KI5TIA, for his comment as well.
Hi, Matthew. Thanks for running the net. Yeah, I was actually looking into the little ham balloons the other day. I read an article that apparently there's a bit of speculation that the military shot down one of those little balloons with a very expensive missile, but it's not been confirmed. Thought that was funny. Break. But apparently. I also read, I don't know if it was the W5KUB website, but apparently you can buy like Mylar balloons just like from like party supply stores, fill them with helium, and then attach like a little tiny transceiver to them. So I thought that would be pretty fun to do. So definitely would be interesting for both clubs to work together on that. But yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Well, hey, maybe this could become a new channel on the Discord, because I think there's a lot of awesome discussion going on here. Rusty, I'll let you lead that going forward. But Young, I've got you on the list here for general check-ins. Let's really quick check and see if anyone else has any comments for Sky before we move on. Nothing heard? Well, let's do a quick station ID. You're listening to the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, hosted by the University of Texas Amateur Radio Club every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. here on the University Link repeater system and the N5 OAK repeater system. My name is Matthew, call sign KN4LRA, and I am your net control for the evening. Just to give everyone out there a quick heads up, this system, the N5 OAK system, and the KA5D system are going to automatically unlink here in just about 3 minutes, right at 9 o'clock. So if you're on the 441325 repeater and you want to continue listening in, I would strongly suggest jumping over to the 441775 or the 147320 repeater to be able to continue in on the discussion.
Comment.
Hey, Rusty, go ahead.
Hey, man, I'll connect us back. Since we have such a good net going, I'll keep an eye on it, and I will connect us back over to Kyle. So we'll keep it up until the end of the net for you.
Awesome, Rusty. Well, thank you so much. And yeah, with that, let's go ahead and move right down the list here. Next is Young, KI5TIA. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. And yeah, what do you got to share, man?
Hi, everyone. Thanks again, Matthew, for running the net. Last week with the School Club Roundup was actually really fun. We got about 40 contacts-ish. Honestly, that's probably the most activity I've had in about a year. But it was real fun. Got some contacts in Canada. There's one guy in Nevada who was running 5 watts and managed to hear him. That was pretty fun. But yeah, hopefully I'll get the logs typed up and sent to ARRL soon. But that's about it for me. Back to net control.
Awesome. Well, Young, thank you so much for checking in, and great to have you here as well. Let's go ahead and open it up to questions or comments for Young. If you've got a question or comment or just something to share, please call now. Nothing heard. You're listening to the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, hosted by the University of Texas Amateur Radio Club every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. here on the University Link repeater system and the N5 OAK repeater system. My name is Matthew, call sign KN4LRA, and I'm your net control for the evening. We've reached the end of my list of check-ins here, so it's time to open it up for any more general check-ins. If you want to jump in, but you're a little late, this is your time to get on the list and say what you have to say. Really excited to open things up again. If you would like to check in, please call now with your first name and your call sign. Nothing heard. Well, I heard All-Star do a thing there. Maybe that jumped in on top of someone. But let's give one more chance to any other stations who wish to check into the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net. If you'd like to check in a little late, please call now with your call sign and first name.
This is Claude, KI5ZQE.
All right, we've got KI5ZQE. That's Claude. Welcome to the net. Any other general check-ins, please call now. Nothing heard. Well, let's check in with Claude. That's KI5ZQE. Claude, welcome to the net. I think this is the first time that I've heard you on the net here. But thank you so much for being here. And do you have anything to share with us tonight?
No, thanks for hosting the net. This is my first time on it. This is an Aggie invading your space, but my father was a 1968 UT graduate, civil engineering degree. So he was quite a stud. I'm glad to see y'all are active, and I'm a pretty new ham. Glad to be here, and fun to talk to y'all. KI5ZQE.
Well, Claude, thank you for checking in tonight. The guys over in Aggie Land have got a pretty cool thing set up where they are linking their repeater system to ours on Wednesday nights for the net. And I've been hoping on my own to jump into their net on Monday night as well and get to talk to everyone. Haven't made it around that way yet just because of my school schedule. But I think it's super cool for the two clubs to stay in contact and start to be involved in some of their activities. And glad to have you here as well. Does anyone have any questions or comments for Claude? If so, please call now.
N5LX.
Hey, Sky, go ahead.
I just wanted to say welcome. Glad that you're joining the net and looking forward to hearing you on the air. I don't know if you're on there yet, but you might look into joining the Discord for the N5OAK Amateur Radio Club.
Yeah, Sky, I'm on there, and matter of fact, you and I spoke the other evening on the Southside Simplex. I know where you live.
Okay. That's cool. So your dad was an engineer, graduated from Texas A&M. Across the street. He went to Texas A&M, and his wife went to UT, and so he's got a flag that has, both those colors on it. I went to one of the subsidiary schools that's part of Texas A&M when I first went to school, and then I graduated from UT. So I'm not really much into the rivalry. I'd say welcome Aggie.
Actually, my father went to the University of Texas. He was the president of the American Society of Civil Engineers there, and one of the first co-op students with the Texas Highway Department's But unfortunately, he was killed after he graduated, was drafted, and was killed before I was born. My mother was, just like a month pregnant. So, yeah. But I'm an Aggie, so I got big trouble with the family.
Okay. Well, I have no problem with it. I think A&M is a great school. But anyway, hi again. And I guess N5LX, back to you.
KI5VMA checking into the RAG queue. KI5VMA on Echolink checking in.
Hey, I heard KI5VMA out there. You're listening to the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net. I'll put you on the list here, and we'll check in with you in just a few minutes here. But really quick, I want to add one comment for Claude, who was just talking. Man, y'all, ain't it funny that this is the only hobby where a lot of us have never met face-to-face, but still we can say things like, I know where you live, and it doesn't end up coming across as really, really creepy. I think that's pretty good and funny. But all right, let's go ahead and open it up for any other questions or comments for Claude. If you have any questions or comments, please call now. Well, nothing heard there. Let's go ahead and move right down on the list to the newest edition. That's KI5VMA. I believe that is Matthew. Hey, man, welcome to the net. Great to have you here.
Yeah, thanks. I'm down in New Braunfels and just playing around with Echolink right now, and pretty new to ham radio and Echolink in general. But yeah, just wanted to check into a local club and see what was going on. But I'm down here in New Braunfels, and hope you all have a good night.
Awesome, Matthew. Well, you're making it into the repeater wonderfully through Echolink there. Great audio. And, yeah, I hope you enjoy listening to us chat here. We're probably going to be wrapping up in not too long. But great to have you here and glad everything's working out there. Does anyone have any questions, comments for Matthew, or just want to say hi? If so, please call now.
VBS.
Rusty, go.
Hey Matthew, just wanted to welcome you to the Ham Radio Club, man. This is a whole lot of fun, and you're down in New Braunfels, so come check us out, n5oak.org, November 5 Oscar Alpha Kilo.org. It's the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club. We're in Austin, and dude, you can probably hit the 320 from where you are, depending on what you have. But come hang out. It's free to join. We've also got a Discord server, so if you have lots of questions about anything and everything, come join Discord, come join the club, and come hang out with us, man. It's a very active club.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking for resources in the area and just kind of curious what the most active repeaters are in the Austin area. I got some down in New Braunfels, some in San Antonio and outlying areas, but none up in Austin yet. So I'm just mostly curious what the most active 2 meter and 70 centimeter repeaters are in the Austin area.
Well, you're connected to the majority of them. One would be us, the N5OAK Club, and we have a list of our repeaters on there. The other is the KA5D system, which is the University Link system. You can find all that at ka5d.com. And then as far as nets and anything that you want to know about what's going on in Austin, go check out our calendar on our website, and it'll show you there's stuff you can do every day, man. We'll keep you busy.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Look forward to seeing you on Discord and hearing you on the repeaters. WZ5BBS, back to net control.
This is Net Control KN4LRA here again. I'm going to echo everything Rusty just said here. Man, you're connected to quite the system here. I think I went through on the All-Star list and counted maybe 12 different repeaters that you're connected to up here in Austin right now. So this is the place to be between the KA5D system and the N508K system. You'll always find someone to chat with. It's definitely, I'd say, the most active in the area, and super nice people here as well. But let's go ahead and open up the floor again for anyone who has additional questions or comments for Matthew. If so, please call now.
K9LZY.
Hey, Rob, go ahead.
Yeah, just a question. Is the Guadalupe Brewing Company still in business down there? It's been a while. They had some of the best stouts in all of Texas as far as I'm concerned. Great place. Was just wondering if they're still up and operating.
Yes, they are. We were just there about a week and a half ago. Had some great stuff on the menu. Kind of upset they got rid of their Vienna Lager, but they did, and it is what it is, and we move on. But yeah, they're still in business and expanding, and they have a new pizza restaurant there, so it's always great.
Cool, good to know. Especially the food. You can always partake in another beverage when you've got food to help it along there. K9LZY, back to net.
Ain't that the truth? Man, all right, well, let's go ahead and see if anyone else has any more comments from Matthew. If so, please call. Nothing heard. Well, Matthew, thank you so much for checking into the net tonight. Great to have you here, and we'll hope to hear you on Wednesday night net here sometime in the future. And definitely, I'd recommend getting connected to the Discord channel if you're a Discord user for the N508K group. Lots of fun stuff going on there, and it's a great way to keep in touch. So definitely hope to see you on there as well. All right, I've reached the end of my check-in list. Let's go ahead and open up the floor one more time for any additional general check-ins. You're listening to the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, a service of the University of Texas Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5XU, right here every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. for the net. My name is Matthew, call sign KN4LRA, and I'm your net control for the evening. Before we wrap things up, we're going to open up the floor one more time for any additional general check-ins. If you'd like to check in, please call now. Nothing heard. Well, thank you for joining us for the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, a service of the University of Texas Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5XU. We'll be here again next Wednesday at 8 p.m. for the net. We are the official amateur radio club of the University of Texas at Austin. For more information, please visit n5xu.org, where you can read more about the club and sign up for our email list. Also, just want to give a huge shout out to both the N508K guys and Kyle from KA5D for allowing us to use their repeater systems tonight. And thank you to everyone who checked into the net tonight. Some wonderful conversation on there. And I think this is the first time that I've been net control where we have elapsed our 1 hour automatic link to the KA5D system. So super cool. And yeah, again, just want to give a big thank you to everyone who checked in. But with that, I'll give one final thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Matthew, call sign KN4LRA, and from my QTH here in North University, 7-3, and thanks again. This system is now returned to regular amateur use.
Great net, man. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect KA5D. WZ5BBS. Have a good night, Matthew.
Thanks, Rusty. Same to you. KN4L.